A crow can recognize your face, it can remember what you did, and if you made a bad impression, it may tell the other crows. Which means somewhere in your city, there could be a bird with a tiny mental file on you. No paperwork, no court date, just vibes and consequences. Crows have a reputation problem. People see them on fences, rooftops, power lines, and parking lots, looking like they know something they are not legally required to share. They are loud. They are black. They gather in groups with the worst possible name, a murder. That is not helping the brand. But underneath all of that drama is one of the smartest animals most people see every day and completely underestimate. Crows solve problems. They use tools, they learn from each other, they remember, and they do one thing that feels a little too personal. They recognize individual human faces. Not humans in general, not that tall species with keys and snacks. Specific people, you, potentially. The research that made this famous came from the University of Washington. Scientists wanted to know whether wild crows could recognize a dangerous person and remember them later. So they did something simple. They put on a mask. Then, while wearing that mask, they trapped and banded wild crows. Banded means the birds were caught briefly, given identifying bands around their legs, and released. The crows were not harmed, but they were absolutely inconvenienced. And crows apparently keep notes. Later, researchers walked around campus wearing the same mask. The crows reacted, they scolded, they called out, they gathered, they mobbed. Mobbing is when birds harass a threat together. It is basically the neighborhood watch, but airborne and much louder. The important part is that the crows were not reacting to every person. They were reacting to that face. The mask had become the dangerous face. Other masks did not get the same response. A neutral mask did not get the same level of anger. The crows were not just saying human bad. They were saying that one, which is impressive and also, depending on your personal history with birds, a little concerning. Because the response did not disappear quickly. The crows remembered the dangerous face long after the original trapping, and over time, something even stranger happened. More crows started reacting, not just the birds that had been trapped. Other crows joined in. Young crows joined in. Crows that had never personally experienced the dangerous person still learned that this face was a problem. That is the part that changes the story, because this is not just memory, this is social learning. Social learning means an animal learns something by watching or listening to others, instead of learning it through direct experience. In human terms, this is how a child learns not to touch a hot stove after seeing someone else do it. In crow terms, it is how a young bird learns. That face is bad news without ever being grabbed by that person. Efficient, slightly terrifying, very crow. Researchers found that young crows could learn from adult crows' reactions. If adult crows scolded a dangerous face, young crows could start scolding it too. That means the warning can spread through a crow community. A crow can learn a grudge secondhand. Imagine being hated by a bird you have never met because its parents told it about you. That is not revenge exactly. We should be careful with that word. Revenge sounds like the crow is sitting on a streetlight plotting your downfall in acts. What the science shows is threat recognition. The crow learns that a face is associated with danger. Then it reacts to that face later. Other crows can learn from that reaction. That is not a vendetta. But if you are the one walking under the tree, the difference may feel academic. And this ability makes sense when you think about how crows live. Crows are social birds. They live around other crows. They watch each other. They call to each other. They notice patterns. They also live very close to humans. They share our cities, farms, parks, roadsides, and restaurant parking lots, where they conduct highly advanced research into unattended French fries. For an animal living near humans, being able to tell one person from another is useful. Some humans are harmless. Some humans feed birds. Some humans chase them. Some humans trap them for science while wearing a suspicious mask. A smart crow does not want to relearn that lesson every time. It wants to remember, and crows have the brain power for it. Bird brains used to get treated like simple little machines. That was the old idea. Small brain, simple animal. Then scientists kept studying birds, and the birds kept being rude enough to be complicated. Corvids, the bird family that includes crows, ravens, jays, and magpies, are especially smart. They can solve puzzles, some use tools, they plan, they remember locations, they pay attention to who is watching. They can adjust their behavior based on what other animals know. That is not simple. That is a bird standing in a parking lot, looking like a side character, while quietly running a risk assessment. The face recognition study is powerful because it connects intelligence to survival. A crow does not need to know your name. It does not need your address. It does not need to understand your tax situation. It just needs enough visual memory to say, this creature caused trouble last time, and then warn the group. That warning can look dramatic. Crows may call loudly, they may follow, they may gather other crows, they may dive or swoop near the threat. From the human side, this feels personal. From the crow side, it is probably practical. A dangerous face is information, and information is worth sharing. That is what makes crows so interesting. They are not just reacting to the world, they are building a social map of it. Who is safe, who is dangerous, where food appears, where threats show up, who knows what, who needs to be warned. All of that is happening above our heads while we are walking to the car thinking about emails. And this also explains why crows seem so confident around people. They are not fearless. They are observant. They know we are big. They know we are dangerous. They also know that most of us are predictable. A person walking on a sidewalk is one thing. A person staring directly at them is another. A person with food is interesting. A person with a net is a felony. Crows live by noticing the difference. The lesson here is not that crows are secretly evil. They are not. They are not carrying grudges because they enjoy drama. Well, probably not. The lesson is that memory does not require a human brain. Social knowledge does not require language. And intelligence does not always look like a math test. Sometimes intelligence looks like a blackbird on a wire, watching quietly, remembering exactly who walked by, what happened, and whether everyone else should know about it. That is why the word grudge works as a hook, but not as the whole explanation. A grudge is emotional. A crow's response is more like survival memory with excellent public relations. Bad public relations, technically, but effective, and it raises a strange question. How many animals are keeping track of us more carefully than we realize? We walk through the world assuming we are the observers. We study nature, we name it, we classify it, we make documentaries about it. Meanwhile, the crow outside the grocery store may be studying us back. Not with human thoughts, not with human language, but with attention, with memory, with social learning, with a very clear sense that some faces are not worth trusting. So the next time you see a crow staring at you from a fence, maybe do not take it personally, unless you have wronged a crow before. In that case, it may already be personal, because that bird might know your face, its friends might know your face, its children might one day know your face, and all you did was exist in a world where crows keep receipts. Weirdly true, weirdly sketchy.